Hi, I'm Nicole from Canada. Please like and subscribe because MSA will give $1,000 to one lucky person who subscribes in the next 7 days. My parents are both successful lawyers who graduated at the top of every class ever. University, school, and probably preschool. Education was everything to them. It was so important that they had me registered in a really fancy school before I was even born because it had a long waiting list. Before I started, my parents wanted to make sure I knew all the basics. A is for astronaut and
Butterbug! Look, Mommy! I made a butterbug!
That's a butterfly with a B. Why is it so hard for you, Nicole? From the moment I joined kindergarten, I hated school. I couldn't sit still and focus on the lessons like the other kids, and it was so dumb that we couldn't talk to each other in class. Even when I silently sent paper airplanes to my friends, it made the teachers mad. They started making me sit outside the class often, and I loved it because I would draw in peace. It was the only thing I wanted to do. Once in 4th grade, my math teacher, Mrs. Mueller, was going on and on about frickin' fractions, and I started doodling. I drew her in my notebook with a horse's head on top of her body. It was so funny, I giggled. And the next second, she was glaring down at me. Are you drawing in my class, Nicole? What's this? A horse's head on a woman's body? That's so stupid.
I think it's you, Mrs. Mueller.
The whole class burst out laughing. I was immediately sent to the principal's office, and my parents were called in. My teachers had tons of complaints, but my parents wouldn't hear it. This is ridiculous. Nicole is probably bored because the teachers are boring. It's their fault. Well, it turns out it was my fault because I left that school and went to 3 others, but I wasn't doing much better. And when it was time for high school, my parents decided to send me to a normal one. Why spend money on a fancy school when you don't even care? You want to waste your time drawing? Fine by us. I felt bad for letting them down, but I was relieved I was going to an easier school now. On the first day at recess, I just sat down at an empty table when suddenly someone grabbed my arm. I looked up to see a girl with purple hair. Get up, punk. This table's mine. Maybe we can share it. Can't you see? There just isn't enough space for my friends. You're sitting in Luna's spot. Who's Luna and where is she? She's standing right next to you, dummy. I couldn't see anyone next to me. Was she crazy? I left the table, and as I was walking away, I saw her take out a chocolate bar and start eating it with a knife and fork while she talked to her imaginary friends. Just then, I heard someone call my name, and I turned to see Darren. He was Dad's best friend's son, and I had no idea he was at the same school. I joined him at his table and asked him about the purple-haired girl. Ella? She is trouble. Apparently, she's been to juvie twice. I don't even know why she comes to school. She's never been to class. Such a weirdo. Just stay away from her. Darren and I were in different classes, but we started hanging out whenever we could, and I was really glad to have a friend here. A few days later, I was sitting out on the bleachers and drawing when suddenly I heard Ella screaming in a megaphone at the football team. You guys suck. My grandma can play better than you, and she's dead. Why don't you let me play with you, huh?
Oh, do I scare you, you little scaredy cats? Afraid to get beaten by a girl?
Shut up, Ella. Unless you want to be a cheerleader, just buzz off. All the boys laughed and went back to practice. Suddenly, Ella dashed onto the field, grabbed the ball, and ran away. The whole team started shouting and running after her. One boy caught up to her and pushed her to the ground, and I jumped up as the two struggled over the ball. Hey, knock it off! Don't hurt her! I pulled the boy away and helped her up, and she instantly kicked him in the knees. He was about to attack her when the coach arrived on the scene and the boys left grumbling. I could have handled that myself. Oh, I'm sure you're a superhero who could have fought 10 boys alone. Or were your imaginary friends gonna help you? She looked at me and suddenly burst out laughing. I have 3 stupid foster brothers, so I know how to deal with boys. Also, I don't have imaginary friends. People think I'm weird, so I act weird. She sat down on the bleachers and suddenly noticed my sketchbook. You drew this? Yeah. Drawing's the only thing I love. I hate attending classes. Me too. How about you don't go to class and we'll draw each other? I gave her a paper and some pencils, and we sat there drawing for a while, our shoes touching. As I looked at her closely, I realized she was actually beautiful. When we exchanged our sketches, I burst out laughing. She just made a stick figure. Yeah, I lied. I can't draw. But wow, Nicole, you're amazing. I love it. I was so happy to hear that. But just then the bell rang and I had to go. We agreed to meet at the same spot the next day. As I was walking down the hallway, Darren caught up with me. Hey, what are you doing with Ella? I told you, she's bad news. I don't think she is, Darren. Maybe you shouldn't believe everything people say. Listen, I'm just looking out for you because you're my friend. Don't hang out with her, okay? He was starting to annoy me a little. If I wanted to hang out with Ella, I was gonna. So I kept coming up with excuses to ditch him and see Ella after school. And each day with her was an adventure. She showed me the best viewpoint of the city, and we went swimming in a gorgeous lake. We also had some of the fanciest free food in town because Ella was friends with the chef. One afternoon, Ella took me to some house and told me to hide in the bushes. Then she took off her backpack, which was full of rocks, and started hurling them at the windows. Oh my God, what are you doing? That's my last foster mom's house, and she's horrible. You gonna help me or not? Without another thought, I started picking up rocks and throwing them too. Just then, someone spotted us and started yelling. I grabbed Nicole's arm. Time to run! We ran like crazy till we left the house far behind, and we collapsed on the ground laughing. We lay on the grass for hours, and Ella told me about all the foster homes she'd been in. My current foster parents aren't great either. They hardly do anything for me. If I need new clothes, I have to shoplift them. It's why I've been to juvie twice now. Wow, that sounds tough. It's okay. I'll be out of here someday, and I'll do something amazing with my life. But for now, I'm really glad I found a friend. She pressed my hand gently, and I felt all warm inside. Later that night when I got home, I almost screamed to find Darren in my room. Jeez, you scared me. Why are you here? Why were you not here? You've been hanging out with that weirdo, haven't you? Darren, it's none of your business. Don't be mad at me. You know I only care. Yeah, so I'm fine, right? Happy? Now please, go away. I practically pushed him out of my window. This boy was getting on my nerves. And the next day when I met Ella outside of school, Darren appeared out of nowhere and said he was coming along. Nicole, why did you bring this extra package with you? I didn't. I don't want her to be alone with you, weirdo. Are you her watchdog? You sure smell like one. I'm her boyfriend. Nicole, I've been looking for the right time to say this. I know you like me too. And with that, he suddenly kissed me. I instantly pushed him away. Are you crazy? Why would you think you're my boyfriend? Just stay away from me, loser. We were walking off when suddenly he grabbed my hand, and then Ella punched him in the face. We left him crying in pain on the ground. I didn't know what Ella had in store that day, but soon I realized where we were. Isn't this Principal Trent's house? Yeah, girl. Now tell me, how much do you hate him? A lot. Everybody does. But what are you planning to do, Ella? I thought we could be creative. You can draw whatever you want with this spray paint, my artist friend. I tried to talk her out of it, but she wasn't listening. She started without me, and it did look like a lot of fun. I joined in, and we both went crazy on the walls. Wow, what a thrill. This was so much fun, Ella. You are so much fun. She smiled at me, and she looked so lovely in the moonlight. Feeling impulsive, I leaned forward and kissed her. Then realizing what I'd just done, I pulled away. What was that? I'm so sorry. I don't know why I kissed you. No, I mean, why did you stop? She liked it? I pulled her close and kissed her again. It was the most amazing night. But the next day at school, I got a huge shock. I was called into the principal's office, and my parents were already there. And I was suspended for a month for spray painting his house. He had a video of me and Ella in action. If it wasn't for Darren who gave me this video, I would have never had the proof to expel Ella. Darren had followed us? Wait, Ella is expelled? Yeah,
She's been a problem since forever. You're lucky you're only suspended. I'm going easy on you because I know she's such a bad influence.
I got such a scolding from my parents, but all I could think about was Ella. Just when I was thinking of sneaking out to see her, I heard a tap on my window and Ella jumped in. Gosh, I'm so sorry you got expelled. Never mind that. Listen, my foster parents are kicking me out, and I'm gonna be sent to some other home far away. Ella, you can stay with me. No. I'm running away, and I want you to come with me. What? Just think about it. We'll never have to go to school. You can draw all day, and Ella, I can't just leave. I have my family here, but I don't have anything here. Nicole, why can't you just do this for me? I care about you so much, but I just can't. Just then we heard Mom's voice by my door, and Ella pushed me away and left. Mom came in to talk to me, and by the time she left, Ella was long gone. What if she couldn't find anywhere to go and ended up homeless on the streets? Without any hesitation, I sneaked out to the nearest police station. My friend ran away from her foster home, but she has no money. Do you have a shelter that can take her? She has long purple hair. I gave the police all the information I could about Ella so they could help her. They assured me that they'd keep me updated. But before they could, someone turned up at my doorstep the next day. Darren, what are you doing here, jerk?
I thought you might not have heard the news yet. Ella got arrested.
What? Why?
Apparently, someone reported her missing to the police, and when they found her, she had a bunch of stolen money and clothes in her bag. I told you that chick was trouble. It was stupid of you to reject me and go around kissing that weirdo.
I couldn't stand him anymore, and I gave him a hard slap. You never had a chance with me, Darren, because you're a creep. I slammed the door shut, but I could hardly believe it. Ella had been arrested because I'd reported her. She would never forgive me, and I'd never see her again. Seeing how miserable I was, my parents went easy on me, and I barely came out of my room the month I was suspended. But then one night, I suddenly got a text message from Ella. Sorry I've been missing. It turns out someone told the police my whole situation, and they're finding me a nice family for adoption. No more foster homes. And I know that someone was you, Nicole. Thank you. Can't wait to see you again. I saw Ella after a month at her new home, and she looked really happy. She lived an hour away from me, but I took a bus to see her on the weekends. And by the end of high school, I had hundreds of drawings of Ella. After graduation, I went to my parents with an admission letter to an amazing art school. I'd gotten in on full scholarship. I know you guys are disappointed that I'm not like you, but this is what makes me happy. Don't you want me to be happy? And suddenly my parents hugged me. Of course we do, Nicole. Your happiness means the most to us.
We're sorry we haven't said that before. We're really proud of your talent, honey. And we love you.
I love you guys too.